Hey everyone, it's Ryan in the Go Fab Lab. Today we're going to take a closer look at cut files and project files. Let's get started. A cut file is a G-code file. A G-code file is a text-based file that has instructions for the machine telling it what to do. Now, a G-code file is not a DXF, a DWG, a SVG, etc. file. Those are project files that you use in your design program. You cannot open project files on the tablet with the Go Fab CNC software. That is very important. The Go Fab CNC software can only read G-code files. G-code files don't have an official extension. Your design program may create G-code files that end in .tap, .nc, .ngc, etc. The Go Fab CNC software doesn't care what the G-code file ends in, as long as it's an actual G-code file. If you're using Inkscape, you can add any extension to the G-code file you want. We're recommending adding .ngc to the end of your G-code file because it helps keep your project files and your G-code files organized. And it's what we do. It's really simple and easy that way. It's also important to have two different folders on your computer so you can keep your project files separate from your G-code files and avoid confusion. If you try and open a file with the Go Fab CNC software on the tablet and you get an error that says bad G-code file, this file is not readable by Go Fab CNC, then you most likely are trying to open your project file and not the required G-code file. Alright, let's do the review now on those two. Starting with the cut file, that is the file that you're cutting with. The project file, that's the file you're designing with. Now your cut file are the G-code extensions. That'll be TAP, NC, NGC. The project file extensions are going to be SVG, DXF, DWG, etc. Very important right here. Your cut file is only for the Go Fab CNC software. The project files are only for designing programs such as Inkscape. Okay, so here's an example of me creating a project file and a G-code file in Inkscape. Let's start off by making those two folders. First we're going to make a project file folder, and then we're going to make a G-code folder for all your cut files. Let's start with saving project files first, which is your SVG file. So I'm going to go to the project file folder just to show you guys that there's nothing in it, so that when we save, it'll save right there. Alright, so now back to Inkscape. We're going to simply go to File, Save As. Going to go to your desktop and you're going to find that project file folder. Click on that. Now you notice nothing's there. We're going to go ahead and save it as square project file so we know the difference between our project file and our cut file. And as you can see, it's already going to save it as a SVG. You do not need to change that. This is only where you're saving your project files. You never do this to save your cut files, just to be clear. Now click Save. Once you've saved it, we're going to go into that project file that we created on the desktop just to check and see if it's been saved there. And as it is, that is your SVG, aka your project file. Alright folks, now we're moving on to making a G-code. Remember, there are different file extensions to G-codes. We are using .ngc. This is very important to remember. This is the only way to create cutting files. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go check on that cutting file folder and make sure that there's nothing in it, just to show you. It's empty. Now we're going back to Inkscape. You're going to select your design and go up to Extensions, G-code Tools, and then Path to G-code. And then we'll go to the Preference tab where we will name our cut file. We're going to name it Square Cut File, and we're going to use the file extension .ngc. You can use other cut file extensions, just be sure that you're not using any of those project file extensions. That's one way to get confused really quick. Okay, so here I am using .ngc. I'm going to make sure that my directory is correct real quick, and it is. Go back to the Path to G-code tab, and then click Apply. See the regular orientation error, exit out, you're good to go. Now it should be saved in that folder. We're going to go check that folder now. Alright, and there it is. That is your cutting file in your cutting folder for your tablet.